A lot of my clients would like to serve on government boards, and the reality is they often make an approach towards government well before their time, and it's a huge missed opportunity because you'll often find that you get kind of misrepresented in the databases because you just didn't have the correct experience before you actually applied for government boards. You need to understand the paradigm. The government does not want to take wannabe early stage aspiring board directors and give you the training wheels to try and build up your board experience. The government wants very experienced, highly credentialed board members, highly skilled board members to serve on boards, and it's typically people who have had quite a lot of experience, other government experience, or working within government in some way, shape, or form before they get a seat at those very, very prestigious government board seats. And even if the remuneration isn't there, make no bones about it, it is prestigious to serve in government boards, even at local and obviously at state and federal level. It is a huge honour, and it does not come, lightly. It is always merit based, and the key criteria that you need to be aware of is you must have some form of formal governance training. You would have to have done some form of a company director course. You would need to have ideally that GAICD nominal or equivalent, and there's no two ways around that. I very rarely see people go and serve on government boards without the formal governance training. You would also expect the candidate to have at least degrees, usually multiple degrees, and often MBAs and doctorates as well. So, there's a huge emphasis on education and the highest level of qualifications that you can possibly have to serve on government boards. And then you would typically have served on at least 2, if not 3 board seats before you get a serious run at the opportunities that come up. Now, obviously, these roles are publicly advertised, but there is a paradigm at play here. And increasingly, if you look at the ads that pop up and they're advertising the positions, you'll see the criteria is very strict. If you do not meet that criteria, my strong advice is not to apply. Build up your experience, earn your stripes, then look at applying for those roles. Now, when you have the experience and you've got the credentials, you certainly can apply for government boards, and there's a lot of registries that you need to be across. There's registries in each and every state. There's also often a registry to encourage female board directors to apply. And in the federal context, there are websites or portals such as Board Links, where you can look at captains of industry who potentially become a sponsor and help encourage top talent to come into boards in the highest levels of the board appointments around in the government sector. So it's certainly not an easy pass. It is a highly prestigious appointment, high levels of qualifications required to secure opportunities in those spaces. You also need to not underestimate the offline networking that happens with ministers, chiefs of staff, policy officers, all the bureaucrats that are involved in the human resources and the recruitment processes. You need to build relationships. So you would be, if you were aspiring, for example, to work in, the government in New South Wales in an infrastructure board, you would want to be networked with the minister. You would go to the minister's speaking engagements. You would be tracking all the activity going on in that portfolio, because, it's just not going to happen by accident. So there's a lot of behind the scenes relationships that happen. Very crucial to be networking and going to government orientated events, and obviously building up the credentials. So if you don't have the credentials, just hold your time, wait for the perfect opportunity, wait for the stars to align. Your time will come, but it's a huge mistake to register too early, because what actually happens behind the scenes is you actually get discounted, and it can make it harder to apply later when you do have the credentials, and you really want to sort of monitor that process as carefully as possible.